Hey guys, this is TaysGreenLife. We're here with Kate. Kate, you want to tell everybody what you do?
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm the owner of Hopeless Dreamer Photography. I'm also an artist. Aside from photography, I like to draw anime. It's one of my favorite things, and I watch tons of anime.
I did see some of your, let's see if we can pull up actually some of your art. See if I pulled it up correctly. That is your Facebook. We got, nope, not that one. This one.
Yes.
Yeah, we got some cool work here. I see the anime stuff. Yeah. That one cute. The little kitty. Where do you get some of your ideas from for some of your art?
Some of my art is I see a lot of other people's things. I'm like, I want to draw that in my style. So if you see like the kawaii stuff, that's more of that. But when it comes to like the girl with the pink hair that you saw on Instagram, I literally just looked up a base and she didn't have the tears on her until
yeah, this one right here? Or let's go up a little bit.
Yes, that little pink
that
one.
This one right here. Okay, cool.
The one with the moon and the lavender.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool. I like that so much. If
you zoom in on her little music thing, it has Peace of Mind by Villain of the Story.
There we go. Right here on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
I try to do like an old school MP3 on it.
It's still pretty cool. How do you where do you where do you come up with some of the ideas and the color schemes?
Color schemes are kind of just random, but when it comes to like any idea I want to put together, it's usually music based. Now, if I can't think of how I want to pose it, I'll look up on Pinterest for like certain poses, but everything I have done that is in like Hawaii is music inspired. So whatever the lyrics made me feel is what comes out. It's kind of like my newest one, Control, is based off a song Versus Me called Control. And that was my perception of the song. It's like I'm chained to my past and I just want to break free.
That's pretty cool. What kind of advice would you give women in the same field? Because you also do photography too, with a lot of the metal bands.
Advice: don't give up. Don't be afraid to be yourself and be tough.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people there, but so far everybody I've come across has been great, but you always want to have your guard up. Just don't be afraid to be yourself. Feel confident. And when you work in the music scene, it gets hot. So dress to where you don't feel like you're going to pass out.
Yeah. Let me pull up some of your, let me see if I can pull it up. There's a lot going on here. Let me get the buttons going. Let me pull up your photography. No, not that one. We got this one. Yeah, Lorna Shore. I see this one right here. How did you go about that?
That one I got lucky with. When I first got back into concert photography back in May, Sue Sarah had asked if I could travel with them to that show. They were the opener for Lorna Shore. And so I was able to talk to the manager and the guys, and I was able to take some pictures. I had to be in the crowd unless you're like traveling with the main band. It just depends on what the manager says. But that was my most challenging one because I was squished. I was stuck where I was to get those pictures. And it by far is my favorite because I had to do color correction. I had to, somehow get to the Andrew. I had to get to Adam over here because all that was in front of me was Will and Mike, or Mock, as people know. And I had to drop down at one point because Will was right in my face and I had to drop down in the crowd. So I was like sitting in the crowd getting a picture.
I think I have we're going to be pulling all of this up.
That's fine.
There was one where you were standing. This one. Yay. Yeah. This one. How'd you do that?
So there was a photographer right here. There was a photographer right here. It was a group shoot. And I was like, hey, there's a beam there. And I just popped up on it. And they saw me. They're like, cameras, both of them.
That looks like, oh my God, I feel like you're going to have like a lot of like problems and bruises and like marks all over your body because you're climbing in weird things to get the perfect shot.
I'm a longboarder, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
used to it. Well, I don't longboard it much now, but I used to longboard all the time.
It's crazy. How did you get into that field? Like, is it something that you just automatically thought you were going to be doing, or is music the only like thing you want to take pictures of?
So back in 2011, 2012, when I was taking photography classes, I was ironically the two members of Soothsayer were in the very first band I ever photographed as a teenager. So I used to be in the music scene, local music scene as a kid, and I used to want to work for Rolling Stones and alternative press.
Yeah.
And so I took a 10-year hiatus, completely forgot about where I wanted to be in life, and just got back into it in May. And music has literally been my vice, has helped me through everything I've ever been through since I was like, I guess since I was born. I don't know. I've loved music since I was like little, but it's really been a comfort. And I like being a ninja, as people put it, and trying to get the great shot. And it's amazing. And you can get lost in the music. If you love music, you just get lost in it and you forget how many pictures you take. I take a lot.
Yeah. So you also did, I guess, there's some, I guess, the rollerblade pictures. I think there was a pregnant belly.
Yes, I've done maternity.
Okay.
I've done maternity. I've held 2 Halloween group photo shoots, which I love Halloween. I'm all about Halloween.
Yes.
I've photographed my tattoo artist. She's amazing. She's also a really good friend of mine. And I've photographed models here and there. I was a model there for a minute, but it's like a different array. I've taken pictures of my best friend's kiddos and my niece and nephew. It's just like a whole different thing. And then I take pictures of my kids all the time.
And that was always your idea, was to take pictures of people playing music and all of that. You also went to school. How long would that take? How long did that take for you?
I didn't go to school for photography. I just took it in high school as an elective course. And I was literally looking up stuff. I've had, advice from other photographers here and there. And honestly, how I found my settings was Googling them for concert photography. And that's kind of helped me ever since. It's literally just getting to know your camera, playing around with the settings and seeing what is right. And your lighting's always going to be different. You're either going to have really, really low lighting and you have to bring your ISO all the way up, or you're going to have like this bright lighting. You're like, oh crap, I got to turn it down. So you just have to play with it.
What type of equipment do you normally use? Like, do you have like a whole lighting setup? Are you only bringing your camera?
I'm only bringing my camera as my handy dandy backpack. And what I use is a Canon Rebel T6i. It's a starter camera, but what really helps is what you call the Nifty 50, which is a 50 millimeter lens. And this is what I usually use. I don't bring lighting or anything with me. I usually use what's there, because at some places they don't allow you to have flash or anything like that. So it's one of the most challenging things. And from what I understand, not every photographer likes to do music, like live music, because of how challenging the light is.
Yeah. I've noticed that like there's so many photographers, because I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and we have the Canal Club, and a lot of people go there, and then they have their own photographers there. There's probably like 3 or 4 of them, and like they're always snapping, but you never see the flash, and you always see them like, down like this or up like this, or like, I'm just like, I feel like that'd be such a hard job, because you got to like watch out for the fans. You got to get that perfect, footage of the band. And that's just like something a lot of people can't do. There are a lot of people that try and then they kind of give up, and it's kind of sad. But the fact that you are still going, and it's like you took a 10-year break, but now you're still doing it again. And that's really impressive. Like, your photos are really cool. Let me pull up some more photos. Let's go to your photographer page. Like, That's so cool. You get a lot of women in there. I love that. You got bands playing. This is a good photo. I like this. Strong women. Yeah.
She was amazing. Like that whole band, believe it or not, that's full of teens, and they like killed their set. Yeah. It was amazing.
Cool. Yeah, you got a lot going on. A lot. You guys should really check her out. You are in Texas. How is the music scene in Texas?
It's incredible. I have a long list of locals. I didn't even realize who I worked with until I had to write it down. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was going through them and I was like, I can't put all of these on here. We got 100 Smokes, All Falls Down. Was it Baston? Baston?
Yeah, Baston. You've got Bile. You have Soothsayer, which is in Abilene. I call them the hometown heroes because they are one of the bands. They're like really good. They're on their way to where they need to be. They're really cool guys. I love being able to travel with them. I got to meet people in Houston. That's Bile, Blight, Snake Father. I'm trying to remember all their names. Margins at Houston. And there was just like so much. And if anyone ever gets to play at White Oak Music Hall in Houston, do it. Like it was the coolest place I've ever been to. They have an upstairs area. And it's like natural lighting. You can get the picture of the fans perfectly. I love that. And then downstairs, they have like, it's more of the, what you would usually see for music. They had the photo pit and everything. And then outside is the big main stage outside. It's just amazing. And Corpus was fun. I loved Lubbock. And those are the places I've been to with them so far.
I do see, I guess you're riding with, I didn't know how to pronounce that band's name, the XVIA.
Yes.
You're riding with them to Suicide Silence. How did you get into that?
When I got back into it, they played with Soothsayer, and I did pictures for them before. Mm-hmm. And they asked me if I could be their photographer. So I get to ride with them to that. I'm super, super excited.
It's pretty cool. And you get to see a big band, like especially that touring with a band and going with them and taking pictures. That's such great connection and great networking. How did you get into that? Did you just know one person or did you just message them out of nowhere?
The ironic thing is my boyfriend worked with somebody who was trying to become a promoter here in Abilene. And he got me hooked up with Soothsayer again. Well, I just started making friends with all the bands at that show. Every local show I go to, I try to make good connections, make sure I get to know them. We exchange social medias, and I give my business cards out like they're candy. And so it's just developing relationships. It's the promoters, the audio engineers, the merch guys, managers, everybody that helps put it together, you want to make friends with and get to know and just keep that network. It's not always the bands, but the locals are usually the ones that can help you get where you want to be. And just like the bigger bands we idolize, they all started somewhere. And I love supporting our local scene.
It's really good because I do the same thing. I'll go to one show. There's one band that I'm really hoping to get. And then there's all these other bands that are there. And I'll be like, hi, I do the podcast. Hi, here's my business card. Here, take this. Here, I do this. I do interviews. And they're always like, oh my God, that's so cool. And it's hard because you're talking to so many people. And it's sometimes it's harder to remember who's who and what band they're in. And I try my hardest to remember their faces. And I try to message them as soon as they give me their information. So I know who to message. But networking is so hard and a lot of people don't want to do it, and it's what you have to do to get into business,
especially if you're in a business like ours. That's the biggest thing. It's hard when you're kind of like an introvert in a way, but you have to push yourself to get out of that if you want to get to where you want to be. And the scariest things is pushing yourself, getting yourself out there, and then so rewarding, and you're just like, oh my gosh, these people are actually supporting me. Where was this years ago?
Yes. It's so weird because people message me and be like, oh my God, I love your presentation, or I love the way your interviews are informative. And that is literally what I love the most. I love it when people are like, I love it. You're trying to do something in music that not a lot of people want to do, you know? I talk to local bands in Richmond, and then I'm, you know, reaching out to Texas or reaching out to like Michigan or Maine or Florida. And there's like such a big open market with social media and like content creation. And like a lot of people are doing it. And I think that's one of the hardest things is a lot of everyone's doing it at this point, you know, and it's hard to get into the field, but like you can't give up. You still got to do it, you know?
No, you just got to find what makes you uniquely you. Mm-hmm. The right people will be going to you. Like the best thing about what we do is they can have multiple people of their favorites and be able to listen. And it's not like you're getting washed out. You just got to bring something more unique that's for you and not try to copy everybody else. And that's the best way to do it, is just own who you are.
Yes. And I think it's also important because both of us are, you know, we're women. We're trying to run a business in a male dominant universe. Like that is the hardest thing. A lot of people are like, that's not true. And I'm like, it is. Like, I guarantee some bands might want to talk to a guy over me, you know, because they trust guys better. Why would a girl want to talk to a band, you know? Why would a girl want that? Because we like the music.
It's really all about that. And I also like to carry around my little notebook. Like I call it my handy dandy notebook, but it's a binder. I'll carry my art stuff around. And Powerman 5000, I showed it to him, like, I love your art. And normally I sell my stickers and it's like, y'all just want to take my last ones? So now Powerman 5000 has some of my art with them, and I'm just like,
so cool. That's so cool. I actually, I know my friend was a glass blower, and my friend made DMT pipes. He has a TV show on Vice, and he does like a bunch of drugs for like experiments and stuff like that. And he ended up getting like my business cards. Like, it's so important, like, yeah, like of knowing people and talking to people, because you don't know who you're going to meet, you know, like you don't know who you're going to talk to.
The one thing I learned with Clubhouse is you never know, like you always want to try to seem professional, but be yourself at the same time, because you never know who's watching you.
Yes.
You never know who is in that room watching how you are presenting your work, how you like hold yourself. It's very important. And Clubhouse is a really good place to connect, like anywhere in the industry, whether it's music, acting, modeling, they're all on that app.
How did you like get into content creation?
How did I get into it? That's a good question. I loved acting, and I originally was trying to use TikTok for acting, but those didn't really get many views because you have to use certain hashtags to get it noticed on the FYP. And then I started doing live art drawings, which I'm going to be honest, I got a little anxious because people were critiquing my sketching, and I'm just like, I can't keep up with your comments and sketches at the same time. I'm just going to stop this right now because it never looks the same once you actually add the lines. You're just using the base so you can have like where you want it. And then slowly it's just been trying different fields here and there, seeing what works. And then when I finally got back into music, that just kind of clicked for me. And then I just started sharing everything I saw, that anything that a band would push out on my timeline, and I would just start pushing it that way. And those big bands start commenting and liking, and all of a sudden I just got this huge rush of like stuff. And I'm just like, how did I reach 20,000 people? How did this happen? One of the coolest moments I had was working at Blacktop Mojo here at the Zone in Abilene. And I literally had somebody stop me in the middle of me photographing the band. They're like, you're a media vixen. You're still on the show over here. I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't know what to say or how to react. I'm like, I just got complimented while working. What?
I went to I don't know if you heard this band Rivals.
I love Rivals. I
went to one of their shows because I'm trying to get them on my podcast. They're on tour right now, so it won't happen anytime soon, but hopefully soon. But in the video they posted, you hear me screaming their songs in the background, and I was like, "That's me! That's me screaming!"
Yeah.
And that's
I love
insane that
them.
they posted it because I was like, there's me. And like, oh God, I love her. Like her body, her positivity is amazing, and how she's like, I'm a dangerous woman, you know? She's a she's a male dominant like music genre. And there she is just saying, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do what I want. And like that's like what I'm more focused for. Like women like showing that we can do it too. We can do the same thing that these metalheads are doing. We can be metalheads ourselves. Like that's crazy.
One of the coolest drummers I know is a female. She's actually the drummer of Soothsayer. And she has grown so much over the years. Like I watched her as we were teenagers. She was great then, and now she's just like, what? Like she's gotten like there's so many talented women out there. Like so many. And there's so many talented artists, and it's just hard to keep up.
Seeing your photos, like I've never seen someone do the work you do, like at all.
Really?
And I think it's really cool. It's very like I look up to it because I'm like, she is a bad bitch and she's doing everything she needs to do, and that's the coolest thing ever. Yeah.
That makes me feel so awesome. I get told all the time, especially at the zone, that I like teleport because one minute I'll be right here, the next I'll be upstairs, next I'll be over here. I'll be on the floor laying down, taking pictures. I'm not scared to get down and dirty. I've slid across, scraped up my knees before just trying to get the shot.
I feel that because I have to like go to a lot of shows and I'm up there waiting to talk to them. And sometimes I feel like maybe they're going to hate me because I'm coming up to them, you know, but I'm just like, hey, how's it going? I'm Taylor. Here's my business card. I want to interview you. And then I walk away. I'm a business woman trying to make business moves, not because, you know, I'm trying to make money, but I'm trying to make that connection. And a lot of people don't have it. And that's just the one thing that's important, like social media, content creation, community building, networking. And I think that's cool that I found you. I loved this interview so much. Let's put in your plugin and so everyone can follow you. Guys, this is Kate, and she's from Texas. She takes pictures of bands, and she's a cool lady. So Kate, you want to tell everyone where to follow you?
Hopeless Dreamer Photography on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter. And then Hopeless Creative is both on Instagram and Facebook. Both of my links on my Facebooks are to my websites. So that way you can find it easily. And then, yeah, that's it.
Well, it was great talking to you. There's such a great insight with a lady in the music scene. It's great. I love it. I hope to have you again. Keep the hard work. Yeah, we need more ladies like you. And me, of course. But I do appreciate you being here. Guys, make sure you follow her. She's a badass bitch. Let's get more badass bitches out here. All right. Thank you for being on my podcast. Yeah.
Bye, girl.